It was like,
We're live!
ah! All morning it was just me trying to like protect my neck while he was like, someone's gonna get
Eddie's feeling a little bit needy right now.
very needy. Even though he was like, with a gaggle of beings for the past 5 days while I was
But
watching
it
your
wasn't
place.
you. It wasn't you. He needs his mama. Oh,
I don't know.
right.
He's got a pretty, pretty sexual relationship with BD.
Oh. I don't.
Every-
I didn't need to know that.
Every time he gets out of the shower, like this one is like, boom, right there. And he's just like,
Oh.
and he'll like lick his feet.
I don't.
Yeah, that's pretty funny.
Maybe you should close the door.
Oh, goodness.
I think bestiality's legal. Good morning, Christopher Ost. Hello.
Good morning. I have my mic set up in such a way that I'm going to move it. I can't see the comments. Sorry, guys, this might make a noise.
It's making noise. Oh my god. No, I'm kidding. It's not bad. Well, I just flew in from New York last night, as you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we took a trip. We had to take Alina back. So I was very nervous going, but everywhere you go there, they are asking for ID and vaccines card.
Not if you're Sarah Palin.
Well, yeah, Sarah Palin. But we expect that from her, don't we?
Well, it did happen. She went to Elios,
Oh,
and then
yeah.
a couple of days later tested positive, and
Yep.
so the restaurant has been like, oh, she was with one of the regulars, and
Well,
we just didn't check.
apparently, that particular restaurant, this is the inside scoop from somebody who lives there, that particular restaurant has been very loosey-goosey the entire time. And allowing people in without cards. It's a good morning, Richard Malmos.
Hey, Richard?
They've been
says-
allowing people without cards. It's a very like from what I understand, sort of an old school
Yes, yeah.
old restaurant that I guess they're trying to cater to their clientele.
I can't stand what my hair is so staticky right now, guys. And
Of
it's
the wind?
driving me crazy.
Yeah,
Ah.
yeah.
Okay.
So for the most part, I do have a story to tell from while I was there. Yeah, it's a good one. So we're taking our daughter back to college. You know all this, and I wanted to cancel the trip, but we had from 2020 when we were supposed to go to it on a
Oh,
New York
right.
trip. We had all these ticket
Right.
vouchers that shows that got canceled, and so I had all these ticket vouchers that were expiring. So knowing we were going to have to take her back to school, this was back in early November. I made the reservations, I booked the shows, blah, blah, blah. Well, hello, Omicron. And then all of a sudden I'm going, oh, I got to cancel this trip. Just send her back straight to school, no playtime. But I couldn't cancel the shows because they were already second-time voucher now.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to waste all that money. I mean, I know in the scheme of things, life versus
You are right.
hundreds of dollars is
But also
But-
the company should take out. Still a pandemic.
the shows are running, so you can't get your money back if the shows
Yeah.
are running. So we decided to go, and just, we're all boosted, double masked everywhere we went. Even outside, everybody's wearing a mask, mostly because it's so fucking cold right now. So double
Yeah.
masked outside everywhere. So felt okay. Hardly anybody in our hotel. We got upgraded to the top floor. Still a tiny room, but Anyway, we go to see Book of Mormon. It's the third show we've seen on the trip. We saw Hadestown. We saw a show called Off the Meter, or On the Meter, no, Off the Books, whatever, on something like that. It's an old cabbie. It's an off-Broadway show. It's a cabbie telling his stories. Turns out he's like an activist, and it was really great, one-man show, and he's doing it as a fundraiser for St. Mark's Theater, which is in horrible, like $10 million debt because of the pandemic, and because the city allowed a big company to buy the building and put them in more debt.
Ugh.
It's a horrible situation. Anyway, look up St. Mark's Theater. You're going to see this, and maybe you can donate. So we went to see the show just to help out and whatever. But it turned out it was great. Anyway, last show was Book of Mormon. We have good seats. When the show starts, the 4 seats in front of us empty. And I'm like, yes, I could see. As a short person,
Yeah.
as a vertically challenged person, it's really great when nobody sits in front of you.
Yeah,
Well,
there have been some swapping in our days.
Yeah.
Swapping of seats.
right. But this young couple in the row right in front of us sees this, and they move over. The guy who is like 6'2" sits right in front of me. I'm like, God damn it. All right. I was like, and vocally, I was like, oh, because I couldn't control it. It just came
Yeah.
out. And I was like, oh, you're so tall. And they just looked back at me and they're like, stink eye. And I was like, okay, whatever. Okay, Dave and I switch. Fine, watch the show. But they have like their masks down like this the whole time, and they're eating and drinking, and I'm so distracted, and they're eating and drinking, and it's like the whole time. And then I see at one point one of the ushers comes over and talks to the girl who's on the aisle, and she puts her mask on. She's like, tell her boyfriend, whatever. I'm like, holy shit, these guys, right? And they're not selling concessions. There's no concessions in the theater. And I'm just getting like,
Just snuck in food.
well, I'm getting like really aggro and just can't concentrate even on the show because they're right in front of us, and already I was just like, oh man, this is not good.
Yeah.
Very distracted. I'm very distracted. Anyway, intermission hits. Everybody's doing their thing, and they're just sitting there, masks down. And I'm just like, I can't take it anymore. So I asked the guy who's got his mask down at that point. She had hers up. I was like, can you please put it over your nose? And they both just turn and look at me. The girl literally like glares, like the eyes narrowed, like, over her mask. I could see this. Like cartoon glare. She's glaring at me and starts saying some stuff. I was like, hey, it's just the rules. Like, everybody else is doing it. You look around, there's nobody else eating, drinking. Like,
Yeah.
It's just the rules. This is what it is. I'm like, and she's still like stink eye. She's calling me a Karen. I'm like, yep.
No.
Yep.
No, it's opposite.
And I'm just like, I'm not like, she's totally like, Karen, and Alina's right next to me, and Alina's like, holy shit. And I'm a Taurus. I dig in.
Yeah.
And I'm just like,
Sorry, my cat.
she's staring at me, and I'm staring her back. I'm like, sorry, whatever. Finally, an usher comes over, and I was like, those guys are just like eating, and their masks is down. And he's like, oh, you're allowed to actively have it down while you're actively eating and drinking. I was like, okay. I turned to them. I'm like, my apologies. I mean, they're skirting the rules. They're not like bite mask or anything.
No,
they're
they're
literally just down there.
Doing it. Mask.
Yeah. They're literally, it's just like an excuse not to have the mask, but I was totally wrong. Like, you could have, even though it says there is no food and drink in the theater, that means no concessions. That didn't mean you can't bring your own. So I was wrong, and I was like, oh shit.
So wait, Broadway is BYOB now?
It sure is. Broadway BYOB. Yeah. But I just like, it made me, after the show, I actually like apologized to them. I sincerely apologize. I didn't realize that was the rule. Do what you do, whatever. Now, I was wrong that I thought you couldn't eat and drink. And so digging in like that I was wrong. I
It's also still
apologized.
gross, though.
Yeah, nobody else. Like, literally, you look in the theater, not a soul. And they're just sitting there with their thing. But I was like, but it made me realize how, like, and they had to have been vaxxed, right? You have to show your vax cards to get in, and boosted in a lot of places. You have to have all 3. But it just made me realize, like, how on edge.
Yeah.
You know me. I'm not all, when it's just the two of us or something, we may bitch about a lot of stuff, but I'm not going out there in the world like, But it just made me realize how high up all these anxieties are now. Like, it's just been 2 years of anxiety.
Yes.
And it's a lot. It's a lot. And so
Yeah.
I'm traveling, going into these shows, knowing like, okay, this is a risky behavior, but I'm doing my best. I've got my double masks. I've got all my boosters, like, but the anxiety that's just there, that's just ready to like,
Also, I mean, let's just say the pandemic is not happening. If somebody's just chomping away during a show, like eating and drinking, I mean, there's already a lack of
It was like
etiquette
the rustling,
in the theater
all of
now.
that. Yeah, there is.
I would have, like, as a performer too, if I just saw two people just like, I would lose my mind.
Right.
Because I have done that before. I've lost my mind when somebody's just like, yes, Richard, we've done shows together.
Yes.
You know what I'm
Yes.
talking about, those Glendale
Yeah.
people.
It's 2 hours, like a 2.5 maybe. You do get an intermission, you can step outside, whatever. But it's just, I was in the wrong. I really was, and I did not know the rules. But I wish the rules would have been what I thought they were, but they weren't.
On the other hand, I like the BYOB because the last time I was in New York, when my sister and I
it's
went
so
to go
expensive.
see, it's so expensive. We were at Hello Dolly and we went to go get drinks, and they were like, and that'll be $55 for 2 drinks. I was like, no. And I went, here you go. I was like, no. Bernadette is enough.
Yeah, that'll be enough for me.
Cocktails
Enough
at Sardi's.
intoxication.
Yeah.
Intoxicated with Bernadette. Yeah. It's a weird time. It's just a weird time. I know we all feel it, and we're all doing our best. And
Yeah.
but yeah, it just made me realize how, because I go along the world. You see, I do what I do to stay safe as I can, but I'm not like freaked out on a daily basis. But apparently, it's under the surface there. It's like
I'm like, I am. I'm exhausted every day. Yeah.
just waiting to come out. And, I wish she'd just turned to me instead of just glaring at me and saying nasty shit to me, which she did. So I did at one point just say, yep, I'm a cunt. Yeah, that's me. Like in my perfect world, she would have just turned to me and gone, we're allowed to eat and drink. And I'd be like, oh, okay. I hate that idea, but okay. But no.
Is it in the program or anything?
I don't know.
I mean,
Could be. I don't
no.
think so. I think when you buy your tickets, when you have the tickets, it gives you the the rules of the theater and all that. Yeah. So anyway,
Fun.
that was fun. Yeah. Yeah. Thankfully, it was Book of Mormon, and I got to have some laughs anyway.
Always hilarious.
It was very funny. It's a
Yeah,
good
that's
show.
a good show. And I follow a lot of those kids on TikTok, so it's cute to see them coming back after like 2 years and,
Yeah.
doing their shows again.
Yeah.
Hopefully
That-
the second Omicron variant
Well,
doesn't.
yeah. It was, I will say, like going in to see a show our first show was Hadestown, and I'm always that person that as soon as the opening notes start, I'm like,
Oh, and that's one I'm dying to see too.
yeah, and it lives up to the hype. It's really, really beautiful. It's so good. It's very intense and it's great. Highly recommend. But also you could see it like when they were taking their bows, like they were crying because they were back and the audience was on
Yeah.
their feet immediately, and like, we know that feeling. It's like that, like, we're back, we have it, like that. It is amazing. There's nothing like theater. There's nothing that makes you feel like theater makes you feel.
Right. I mean, it's community, it's catharsis, it's, it's a release, it's, it brings together and to not have that for so long, like, and on top of that, having to be stuck in your house,
Yeah.
not just, we weren't able to communicate with anybody or commune with anyone,
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Yeah,
huge.
especially in the beginning, it was so.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, to see it back, and to see, the audience was just so joyful to have this, get this entertainment, and it was really very special. And then we saw an off-Broadway show, like I said, that was tiny little place, and the same thing, like that feeling of the community, and like they're back. So anyway, can't tell me the arts aren't important. Theater is very important.
Incredibly important, yeah. But speaking of, I don't know if you saw this article, and I questioned whether or not to go after the reporter or to email them, But the Daily Beast ran an article about Rachel Zegler, who plays Maria in West Side Story, about how annoying she is. That's the article. It's just how annoying she is. There's no basis. And in fact, they included other tweets from people who think Rachel is annoying in the article. And so, you know, of course, like, musical theater Twitter was ablaze. Like, they were just furious and, like, how can you run this? Daily Beast, blah, blah, blah. It's so petty. Because, like, the last paragraph in the article is, like, there's always somebody prettier and wittier and bright waiting in the wings and blah, blah, blah. So I look up the author, or the reporter who wrote it, and she's an intern. She has, like, 200 followers. She's an intern. So I'm like, did an editor ask her to write this and just give it a shitty headline or whatever? And then I was like, should I just and write her like, you're assuming you're a young woman because you're an intern, but this is really catty. Part of the problem when like, why did it have to be you? If you said that there's somebody pretty and witty and bright waiting in the wings to take your place, why did it have to be you to be shitty?
Right.
Like, why did you write the article? Like,
right. The idea of when you open your mouth, what are you contributing to? What are you putting out in the world? Like, that's why tear somebody down?
Calling her the next Anne Hathaway with no basis. Like, I have.
You know what? If she's the next Anne Hathaway, good for her, because Anne Hathaway has done. She may be annoying.
No, there's more to that. I mean, I can't really say because of where I work, but there's more to that.
Yeah.
So there's basis for some behavior. There's no basis for Rachel's behavior at this point. Nothing. No. Just that she's young.
She's young. She's pretty.
She's Latina.
She's extremely talented.
She's talented, and people are finding her annoying. Like, that's it. And then this young woman,
mostly out of jealousy.
And she wrote she has like 200 followers. Nothing, but people were going after her also, and she was like, first of all, I'm a theater kid and I will always be a theater kid and I love Rachel, I just wanted to point out what happens, blah blah blah. And I'm like, no, but you did it. That's not what happens. Did it. That's
you. Yeah, that's on you.
Yeah. It's just so frustrating. And it just frustrates me that these kind of things get printed all the time now.
Snarky sells.
It's just clickbait.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. No, that's terrible. And it's that same idea we've talked about with, I've had this conversation now with a lot of people about, a lot of Latinos eating their young.
Each other. Yeah.
I mean, it's just that the infighting, the like tearing down, not allowing somebody to get above a certain rung, Dave's talked about that with Canada a lot. He says in Canada, they don't, if you come to the States and are very successful, they don't like that.
Nope.
They don't like that.
They don't.
So it's, it's this tearing down instead of building up. And, I would hope we're all trying to build each other up and,
because there's space for everyone. Right, there's space for everyone. I mean, if YouTube has shown us nothing else, there is space for everyone. Like, there is a show for everyone. There's a path for everyone. Like, there is space for it. So let's just, support each other, guys.
Yeah. Now, that being said, I know we've talked about annoying people before, too. So we're not,
no, we're perfect. No, we're perfect.
We're not totally innocent. We're totally perfect. But anyway, we should try to do better. It's a good.
Oh, absolutely. I try to do better all the time. I mean, I was an asshole. And that was another thing, too, when I read this article. It was like, and then I was told, don't be an old person and do that. She's getting enough attacks. But I was like, I wanted to be like, yeah, I was in my 20s and I was straight up just an asshole. Yeah. Understand, but maybe just think on these things and learn and maybe not tear somebody else down, especially if you're part of the media.
No, you're right. Well, this is a fun show.
Well, do you want to? I want to see in on this. I don't know why I keep putting my coffee down. I'm just gonna pick it up in 2 seconds.
I don't know. You also keep freezing a little bit.
You do too.
Yeah. Bad vibes today.
Machine Gun Kelly and Megan Fox got engaged.
Yes, they did. Yes.
Did you see their ring?
Yeah.
That he had designed?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
There's little thorns on it. so it'll be hard for her to take off.
Yeah, that's
Ew.
creepy shit. That's creepy
Like,
shit.
you're not Angelina and Billy Bob, okay? Guys,
Carrying each other's blood.
that was cool. Dumb.
So dumb.
I was like, ugh. If somebody gave me a ring like that, I would just be like, well, I'd probably be like,
It's not
wow,
going on
what?
my finger.
No.
Like, do you have one for your dick too?
Yes. Do you have a cock ring with some freaking thorns in it?
Sorry, we just turned explicit.
Good morning.
Good morning. Yes, no, that's so creepy, and somebody who would want that. I think,
No, it's very weird.
yeah, just got maybe some things to work out. I mean, I always thought like the people who tattooed the rings on them, cool, but very optimistic.
Well, like Howard Stern doesn't wear a ring.
I'm
He
only
has
speaking from my own experience, of course.
Howard Stern has a B for Beth tattooed on his wedding ring rather than. But you know, like it's his second marriage. He's older. He's like, you know.
Yeah, not gonna last long enough to divorce her. Is that what you're saying?
No, I don't think that's it.
You could turn a B into an 8. Look like an infinity or something. If necessary.
That's just weird. It's very bizarre. It's also not a pretty ring. It's very, you know, it's like two tier put together, held together by magnets, mind you, also.
By magnets?
To be drawn together. Yeah. So it's a diamond for his birthstone, a emerald for her birthstone together, and then thorns. And I'm like, ugh, that just makes me,
Yeah.
gives me, ugh. I'm like, ugh, I can't breathe.
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds horrible.
This sounds really bad.
They probably cuddle too.
Ugh. Why do I have a cat that wants to cuddle me all the time?
That's your punishment.
That is my punishment.
Our dogs too. They're both dogs just slept across
I'm like,
the bed.
oh.
All right. Well, I guess we should start the day.
Oh yes, I've already started the day. So guys, cross your fingers because there's stuff happening today that I just need to go smoothly.
Send Claudia good vibes. Send
Yes.
good vibes. All right. Whew.
Send me conditioner. Because this hair is so staticky.
All right, everybody. Have a great day. Thanks for letting us vent today.
We'll be back Monday.
We'll be back, I think, Monday. Yeah.
Okay.
I think Monday. Why not?
Okay.
See you Monday. All right. Goodbye, everybody.